Top 5 Strange and Mysterious Islands. Most of the world's islands are well explored, their secrets learned long ago, but a few remain mysterious. Islands shown on maps for centuries suddenly appear to vanish. Dangerous. Top secret facilities on remote islands are abandoned or destroyed. Sometimes, islands behave in ways seemingly inexplicable to those who discover or study them. An island seems to appear as if by magic, leaving experts to wonder what created it and how. Islands all but completely cut off from the rest of the world produce flora that are not only unique but also look as though they could grow only on an alien world. Other islands are mysterious because of their inhabitants' origin or fate. All of these 5 strange and mysterious islands are truly amazing for these reasons and more. 5. Floating Island, located in the Parana Delta, between the cities of Campana and Zarate and Buenos Aires province in Argentina, is an island shaped like a nearly perfect circle with a diameter of 120 meters, 390 feet. It is surrounded by a channel that also forms a nearly perfect circle. Thanks to the presence of the round landmass inside it, the channel looks much like a crescent moon. Together, the island and channel resemble an eye, an appearance that suggested the island's nickname. The eye floats, it also rotates on its own axis, film director Sergio Nusper said. The filmmaker discovered the eye in 2016, while he was scouting locations for a science fiction movie. Having made the astonishing discovery of the mysterious island, Nusper and his crew, including Richard Petroni, a hydraulic and civil engineer from New York who's become involved in the project, decided to make a crowd-funded documentary about the eye, instead of filming the science fiction movie Nusper had originally intended to make. 4. Socotra Island. Socotra Island, off the coast of Yemen, looks for all the world like an alien planet. Its endangered flora is unique due to the remote location's isolation, temperature extremes, and arid conditions. A third of its plant life can be found nowhere else on Earth. Fortunately, 70% of the island has been set aside as a national park. Some of the plants look like turnips planted upside down. The branches of another, the crimson sap of which has earned it the name dragon's blood tree, are devoid of leaves, except at their tips, which makes it look as though the branches are the tree's roots and the tree is growing upside down. The strange tree is used for its supposed medicinal value, to produce fabric dye, to make incense, and to stain wood. The island's bottle tree, adapted to store water in a dry climate, has a thick trunk, and its few limbs, thick near the trunk, give rise to clusters of much thinner branches ending in thick clumps of green leaves. Surrounded by turquoise water, the island features huge limestone caves, homes to bats, the only mammal native to Socotra. Messages in a variety of languages have been carved into the cave's walls. Researchers attribute them to sailors who stayed on the island between AD 1 and 6. The residents of the mysterious island are also unique. They all have a DNA haplogroup possessed by no other people on Earth, and some contend that the Garden of Eden was originally located on Socotra. In 2008, the UNESCO named Socotra a World Heritage Site. 3. Diego Garcia. The vaguely U-shaped, 44-square-kilometer atoll in the Indian Ocean known as Diego Garcia has thick, tropical jungles and white sand beaches. It was home to 2,000 native Chagashans, until the British government forcibly relocated them between 1968 and 1973 so that the U.S. could build a naval base there in exchange for Britain's agreement to lease the island, which is of strategic importance because it's located between East Africa, the Middle East, and Southeast Asia, allowing the U.S. to strike locations in both Asia and the Middle East. Diego Garcia was used to stage air support operations during the 1991 Gulf War, the 2001 Afghanistan War, and the 2003 Iraq War. The remote, restricted island, some contend, is also the site of a secret U.S. prison camp, although American authorities deny the truth of such speculations. 2. Partridge Island. Canada's Partridge Island, located off the coast of St. John Harbour, New Brunswick, became a quarantine station in 1830. Immigrants stayed there, upon their arrival in Canada, to ensure that they didn't spread shipboard diseases to Canadian citizens. Thousands of immigrants came to Canada during 1847's Great Famine, and 2,500 Irish immigrants were quarantined on Partridge Island. The diseases against which the quarantine guarded from spreading included cholera, typhus, smallpox, scarlet fever, yellow fever, and measles. Newly arrived immigrants were subjected to kerosene showers followed by showers in hot water. Many were sick, and Partridge Island couldn't handle the huge numbers who came to Canada during the peak of the Irish potato famine. The influx of thousands of Irish earned the island the nickname Canada's Emerald Isle. Quarantined immigrants who died of disease were buried on the island, on one occasion in a mass grave, the grass over which was rumored to be of a more intense green than the surrounding lawn because the bones of the dead had nourished it. Closed in 1941, Partridge Island became a mysterious place visited only through photographs. 1. Easter Island. Hoping Easter Island would give up its answer to their question as to how islanders had once lived there, farming thousands of miles from any continent, a team of researchers from the University of California at Santa Cruz used paleogenomic research to determine the genetic history of the Rapa Nui. As Easter Island's lost people are known, it was believed the Rapa Nui interbred with South Americans well before Europeans arrived on Easter Island in 1772, but to the surprise of the UC Santa Cruz team, the materials from museums they tested indicated no contact between the Rapa Nui and South Americans before the arrival of Europeans, which earlier studies had, making the team's findings somewhat controversial. If the results of their research proved to be correct, it's clear that the Rapa Nui didn't have help from South Americans in creating and moving the island's heavy moai. Unaided, the Rapa Nui carved and moved them themselves. Raiders who kidnapped Rapa Nui to sell as slaves reduced their population from thousands to barely more than 100, and infighting and disease wiped out the rest, leaving their origin and, until recently, the creation of their statues, secrets as mysterious as the island itself.